Another beautiful Tuesday morning, and welcome to Talking Therapy with Dr. Michael. Make some noise.
Hi.
How you feeling, doctor?
Very fine. I just discovered that Islamiyah is becoming fine enough. Is it monthly?
I was telling her. She had a good weekend. That was.
Oh, you told her to?
No, she had a good weekend.
Okay, that was where you went to Adekola.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering how.
She was relaxed. She had a time of
relaxed. I would say that's the word.
I think it was sometimes experiences might be stressful, but the memory of the experience just gives you a certain type of what they call that there's
adrenaline rush.
Not adrenaline. There's like
is
is it chemical or an hormone that comes from happiness?
Yeah. I can't remember, but yeah.
Yes,
there is.
That's what I'm trying to remember.
Okay.
I think the lesson to learn from Islamiyah is we can call her a minister of enjoyment, or you can't stress her.
Oh no,
you can never. She's going to do what she wants to do.
Yeah,
and that might explain. I think with that, she will be able to solve a huge percentage of stress management.
Ooh, she. What do you say about that?
Well, I didn't expect it. I never expected it. So thank you so much for what you have said. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
It's good to have you join us again on another Tuesday morning. If you're joining us for the very first time, Talking Therapy is every Tuesday, and this is Therapy on the Radio, and we love it because it's a very interesting and engaging conversation that really dives into the mind of the every average person that is listening this morning. So if you are listening for the first time, I want you to experience what it's like to be in a therapy session, right? As much as possible. I was watching Fantastic Beasts all over again, and I started watching it yesterday. I think it's a 2019-20 movie. I'm not sure of the year now. And I started watching it all over again. And there was a line in the movie that just got me. And this was how they said it. So let me pull it up. I had to write it down. And the guy said that the man was wearing this particular guy, a helmet and a what do you call that? A shield. Okay. He was wearing him a breastplate, and it was like, oh, there's nothing to worry about. And the guy looked at, what do you mean by there's nothing to worry about? And he says, because worry means you suffer twice. And I was like,
okay.
Awesome.
He says there's absolutely nothing to worry about. And I was like, what do you mean by there's absolutely nothing to worry about? He says, because worrying means you suffer twice. And for some reason, I just paused the movie. I was like, I heard that, and I had to take it back. And I had to hear like the whole play line again just to be sure what I heard. And what do you mean worrying means you suffer twice? And I was like, I started thinking about it, and I realized how much worrying robs you of some certain things, and then you suffer two different times because you miss out on some things because you were worried about how you were going to handle some certain things, and then you now also worry about that situation too,
and you double the intensity of the situation that's going to happen.
That's going to happen. And it got me thinking, how is it impossible for us not to worry? Because I was asking her, do you worry? And she's like, look at me.
Final boss of worry.
And I'm like, it's almost impossible not to worry about, and we said something this morning about, helping, telling people to achieve their highest goals, which is like going back to school. And then we talked about how we worry, we tell ourselves, how do we get through this? And we're like, we didn't even know how we did it.
Yeah. After you're done, you're like, how did I don't even know how I did it, but I did it. You
spent 5 years in school, you're done, and you're like, how did you survive doing 5 years in school? Well, you survived. In a way, you don't remember how, but you went through that process. We're looking at it that 2 years from now, it will be 10 years since we both left university, right? And then we're talking about, going back to school, going back to achieve whatever it is that you want to go back and achieve. If it's going to get your master's, if it's about, getting a degree, if it's about changing a career path, that also happens for some people. And they always worry about how much time it's going to take and worried about so many things. So let's even start with the word worrying. Should that word, why do we worry? Or should the word worry exist in our dictionary?
No, it shouldn't.
You've come again.
The opposite of faith is fear. The opposite of faith is fear. You can be concerned about something, but you don't have to be fearful concerning it.
So worrying is like being fearful about it?
Worry or worrying about something is a negative emotion. Fear has a negative emotion. Worry has a negative emotion. faith, the opposite of fear, has positive emotions.
Yeah.
Then desire. And I want to advise that we don't use worrying too much. If not, we end up programming people today to be worried.
Okay.
So we shouldn't use the word worry.
So
So
what
desire.
Desire.
Desire. In fact, the
Desire,
Cambridge
man.
Dictionary defines it as anxiety, mental uneasiness, or concern caused by a problem, uncertainties, or potential dangers.
Worrying is caused by focusing on what is not your desire.
Focusing on what's not my desire.
Worrying is caused by focusing on what you do not desire.
Okay.
Focusing on what
You
I
do not. So let's say you want to
desire.
make
So let's
it now.
define it. Worrying,
That's your
worry
desire,
is
okay.
a negative emotion. Worrying about something is a negative emotion that results from focusing
focusing
your tower
yes, your thoughts, emotion, words, and action
on what
on
you
what
don't.
you do not want,
Yes.
on what you do not desire.
Yes.
I kind of like agree with that. And I'm thinking of so many situations in my head of that.
I mean, because let's say, for example, you want to make it in life.
Yeah.
That is your desire.
Yeah.
Your desire is to not the
No.
one that you don't
So
desire.
let's do it this
to
way.
not make it.
You want to make it in life. That's
Yeah.
what you want.
Yes.
Now, desire is a separate entity.
Okay.
You desire what you want.
Okay.
So it's not just enough to be clear about what you want. You also need to desire it. Desire must mix with what you want.
What you want.
But you were saying something.
So I was saying, okay, let's say that's what you desire, for example, and what you don't desire is for anything to happen that would that would hurt your chances of actually making it. But that's what you're focusing on all the time. That what if I don't? What if I don't make it? What if I don't? That kind of thing.
So that will lead to the formation of worry. But if you focus on what you want, it will increase the strength and the intensity of your desire. Nothing happens that is good without a strong desire.
Okay.
So it's not enough for you to even desire something. It has to be very strong.
It has to be very strong.
Like Islamiyah has been desiring to 1 million.
$100 million.
Yeah.
But the desire is not strong yet. Is it strong? It's not
So
strong.
the question is, how does it come up almost in every sentence? Can anybody say, oh, ever since from the first day I met Islamiyah, she's been talking about $100 million. So you have to be clear, first of all, about what you want.
Yeah.
If you want to get married, what's the description of the woman that you want to get married to? If you want to get married, what's the description of the man that you want to get married
Not
to?
what you don't want.
Not what you don't want.
I don't want a man that is this. I don't want a man that is this. But
What do you
man
want?
do you want?
Oof.
And then people are
Okay.
going to be stuck. I'm thinking of this conversation of worrying and desire, and I was sharing yesterday. We're talking about how our weekend went, and I was talking about going to the supermarket on Friday, and I bought a couple of things and how much I had spent. And I remember getting into my car and I was just shouting, "God, I beg, God, I beg, God, I beg." But that should not be that should not be my concern. My concern should be, how do I ensure that I'm not in a position where I have to be so concerned about the price of what I'm buying.
And then to now go further to say, how much do I want to come into my account on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis? Then I now start focusing. And I now start focusing my tewa on it.
Your thoughts, emotion, words, action should be focused on what you desire and what you do not desire.
So let's assume you have 15 million naira in your bank account. Will you say, God, I beg? Compare how much you spent to 15 million naira.
But yeah, to 10%. You go up to 0.1% of 10.
So what will you do? Let's assume you have 15 million naira in your bank account.
Yeah.
What will you do? Immediately you get into your car, what will you do?
I'm thinking of. I probably would not have even been in my car by that time.
Yeah.
Because I would have spent a longer time at the supermarket
Doing what?
shopping.
Then how much do you think out of 15 million
Would
naira
I have spent?
Yes.
Maybe roughly about like 150.
150 what?
150,000 naira
It's still
in the
not
supermarket.
150 million naira
Because it
minus.
was like daily.
Yeah. I said 50 million naira minus 150 is how much?
15 million naira minus 1 naira. That's 14
14
million. 715.
850,000.
850,000.
So what will you now do when you get into your car?
I'm progressively thinking of
the next thing
to do.
Like what?
Maybe if you have any other things that you need to get done, because I don't think you'll be worrying about.
Example would be I have an idea in my head that I've been stumbling about for like a few days, and I have been trying to think of how much to pay the people that I want them to do that thing for me, because I don't think I want to like really bring value to people, but I'm also concerned of I don't have so much to pay these people, so I would have been very progressive on that.
So when you get into the car, you will look at the
balance,
the receipts, and the balance. What will you then do?
I just toss it and I'll move on to the next thing.
Can you act it out now?
Like
act out your emotions.
I probably won't. When they give me the receipts, I'm probably.
So here's the receipt. You just check just to be accountable. So when you get to Madame says,
what did you buy?
This is okay.
Okay.
Then you just check the balance.
All right. Okay. That's it.
And just continue.
I continue. I go about my life like.
So I want you to act it out.
So
that's the receipt.
This is the receipt.
Yeah.
All right. If it's in the car, it's probably just entering inside the glove
compartment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I
pick up.
I look at my phone
for the balance, for accountability.
The debit alerts. And I like swipe up, start the engine,
and then smile, just move on.
Yeah.
Probably play my favorite song.
Yeah. And what would that be?
My favorite song right now. Whew. I've been listening to a lot of Omali's new album, Clarity of Mind.
Okay. So what we just did now is programming. Imagine you rehearsing what you just did now, rehearsing it throughout the whole of today.
Yeah.
And then rehearsing it every day. It's going to happen.
Yeah. And my brain will be thinking, my brain will not be worried about where my next meal is coming from.
Yeah.
Or looking at my account balance and thinking, I need to find a way to make sure that I have XYZ before the end of next week, because this money in the account cannot get me to the end of. I'm thinking of, that trip I need to make to Lagos. We were still talking about something yesterday. Yeah. And I was like, okay, maybe we should start planning to go to Lagos. Okay, what do I need to fix that needs fixing, and start thinking progressively on what I need to do now for the benefit of my future.
God gave us the mind for one particular reason, and that's to form our desire.
What do you desire? Oof. That's the title of today's episode.
and desire is a pull that pulls what you want towards yourself. So the stronger you focus, the more you focus on what you want, the stronger the desire. That is, the stronger the pull towards you.
Yes.
And then it will then physically happen.
Yes.
But it must, because everything happens twice. So, but it must first happen in your mind. So you acting out what you just did now.
Yes.
If you keep on focusing on it, keep on, is it embellishing the video?
And then it feels like deja vu when it happens.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know why I say that? I say that because I remember when I started thinking about doing the first radio room, the desire was very strong. I just kept, going about it in my head, and then one day I had just sat down on my system and I drafted a proposal, and I sent it to like 6 different people. 6 different people. I can't forget. I sent it to 6 different people.
Right.
And I raised the money that I needed to run that event that night.
Wow.
That night, I needed 180,000 naira. I drafted out the budget. I listed out how I was going to spend each amount, and I sent it to 6 different people. And that same night, they sent me a message. I was going to I'll take care of this. I'll take care of that. So the money was already raised before the event was done.
So imagine if, and that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But imagine now having that kind of desire every single day for 2 years on different things.
On different things.
That's why the enemy of desire is distraction.
Oof. Come on.
The only reason why you have not, your mind, you've not been able to repeat that desire every single day for the last 2 years is simply because of distraction. Distraction is focusing on what you don't want, focusing on who you don't want to associate with, focusing on who you don't want to be with, complaining, or they all go in that direction. Complaining. When you complain, you are complaining about something that you don't want. You are focusing your emotions on what you don't want. That's complaining. So when you imagine, and then they weaken your desire by the fact that you're not going to have time to focus on what you want. So your desire will not be strong. But imagine if you don't focus on people you don't want to associate with, that means that you don't complain about anybody, about anything, and you keep on focusing your terror on who you want and what you want, do you know what will happen? Your desire will keep increasing. And if you were able to achieve, and since you're able to achieve that in one night, you can imagine what you'll be able to achieve today. Every single day when you wake up, you're waking up with, I am going to achieve another set of goals. It's a different set of goals today.
Focus your desire on what you want and what you do not want.
And who you want.
And who you want.
You only say things are impossible because you're focusing on what you don't want. You're looking at how you will not be able to get it. Things become possible to you when you start focusing on things you want. Do you understand what I'm saying? Things become possible when you start focusing on what you want.
Okay.
Yeah. I want this to happen, and this is how I think it can happen.
And so there's nothing impossible.
The possible probabilities of how this can happen. So instead of thinking of the possible probabilities of how it will not happen, focus on as many possibilities on how you can get what
and it will be
want.
possible to you. So anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Can we now speak to there's a general wave of this worry or lack of desire, if we should call it that, since you said we should not use that word a lot.
Thank you, Prof.
That is going around with in a lot of young people, in a lot of younger people. I think based on the economic realities, for example, there's a lot of exhaustion that a lot of people feel from all the work that they do, and feeling like, oh my God, with all the work that I do, there's not really a lot that I can really say that I've been able to achieve from all of the work that I do. So I just want you to speak to like the young people, because this is like the time where there's a lot that has happened and there's a lot that will keep happening, and it keeps feeling like the odds are against, and not for. So you see, like, people wake up in the morning and the first thing you're doing is just worrying that, oh my God, another day, that $100 million not in my account, God, when, and then you're seeing, and I think because of the fact that you're also seeing the possibility of what can happen for other young people, because as we're having this conversation, that young people that are also making waves and also breaking strides and whatever, there's always that thing that just, and once it just gets planted in your heart, it takes up all the space that it just makes you feel like there's no possibility of anything happening, or maybe even if there was a possibility, it makes you feel like, when is it going to happen for me? It makes you question yourself. There's a lot of doubts in your heart. So let's speak to the people that feel like that.
Yeah, so you want to stop listening to podcasts that keep talking about, check out why things can't be. Because I see them on social media and I just shake my head. So stop listening to those podcasts. Stop listening to those radio shows that talk about, because many people talk about things they don't do. There's nothing that we have talked about here that we don't do. I don't talk about what I don't do. So when you do it, you also know the practicality of it. So stop listening to those podcasts. And number 2 is I have a client who is always complaining every November, and she has been in that for like 2 years. Like, it's always like a cycle. Like, every November she keeps on saying, "What have I done this year? We do a lot." She now keeps saying, "What have I done in my life this year?" And I say, "Madam, November has come. You have started this thing again." And I say, "Madam, look into the last 1 year. Look at a lot." And I started pointing out what we have done. I said, "This is your own life. This is not even my life. I'm telling you what has happened in your life."
Yeah.
She became quiet. Then this year again, I told her, "Madam, November is coming. Let's start preparing."
Because November is actually coming.
She now said, it happened in March. She was already, all these perfectionists, all these people who are ambitious and the rest of that. So she said it happened in March, and I said, all you just need to do is take a stock of what has happened in the last 1 quarter. So people usually have the tendency to forget.
Yeah.
To not keep stock. Every naira I spend, I try to record on my phone. Everything that happens to you, you have to have an attitude of recording what has happened to you.
You have to record every naira. Can we record that things?
So apart from a naira, just use an example.
Like every other thing that has happened. Yeah. That's why it's important to take pictures, make videos, post about them, write about the things that you're. Diary of a Niger girl, Ife, talked about when she was working in corporate. Every week, at the end of the week, she writes a mail of the things that she has achieved in her office, they think she contributed to the goal, the success of that office every week, and copy all her bosses in the mail.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah. So before you sleep, you scan throughout the whole day. The good ones, though, you will discover that you will sleep off in the middle of it. So try and scan throughout the whole day what has happened, the good things that happened throughout the course of the day.
Yeah.
And then do videos, voice notes, write them down, whatever way that will help you to go back.
Yeah.
And then remind yourself. It helps you to keep that pressure away from you. And it strengthens your desire that if I could achieve that in one night 2 years ago, it means that I can achieve that tonight.
I heard a phrase a few years back, and I think I held on strongly to it. The man said a man is responsible for the emotional well-being of his family.
Yeah.
And I want you to speak to fathers and families now. As a father who, fathers who are listening, or men who are married who are listening, who their emotional they are responsible for the emotional well-being of their family. How do they take this conversation and influence everybody in the family with the mindset of focusing on the desires of what they want and not what they do not want?
To be fair to men, emotions happen to be both our strengths and our weaknesses for human beings. So if you are emotional, you're going to be very weak because it's your vulnerability. But it's also your powerhouse. That's why women get goals achieved better because they are more emotional. So women get goals executed faster, easier than men.
Okay.
So yes, men are right by saying when you are emotional, you are weak. That's what makes women to be weaker. But if they are weaker, then we are weak. But it's also a powerhouse. So what you now want to do is you want to train your emotions.
Okay.
You want to master your emotions. And one way of doing that, or the way to do that, is to focus on what you want. Only. So that ultimately you can then use your emotion as your compass. Because what I tell my clients is your emotion is actually your life compass. If you are talking to somebody and you are feeling off, that's your emotion telling you that you're not supposed to talk to that person. But you have to train your emotion so that it becomes reliable. So there's power. So you have to men need to accept that like on this program we divided human beings into two categories: thought people, and this is not grammatically correct, emotion people. Thought people, emotion people. Thought people are people like everybody's thoughts. The thought of everybody is powerful, but their own thought is like multiple, like maybe like 1,000 times powerful.
Yeah.
For emotions, everybody is emotional, but the emotion of emotion people is like 1,000 times more powerful. That's why if you think of, when thought people think of something, they don't need to think about it too much before it happens. And then emotion people, they don't need to have emotions too much like everybody about it before it happens. That's what one of my clients said. Is it not just small emotion? Just small, just small. And then the symptoms, malaria symptoms are already coming. It's not small because you are an emotion person. Your own is not small. Your own might be, your own that is small may be big in another person. So once men now begin to see that emotions can also be your powerhouse, then they now start training their emotions. And then they start directing it towards what they want for their family. As the man, you are the leader of your marriage, but you and your wife, you are the leader of your home. You are the leaders of your home.
As a man, you are the leader of the marriage, but as a couple, you are the leader of the home. So the husband and wife have to be in alignment and agreement for the home to succeed and focus on what the home wants.
So this person that I want to marry, how is she going to complement me in this journey of life? What kind of person is she? Is she a thought person? Like we advocate that phlegmatics should not marry themselves. Like if you are a phlegmatic, if you have phlegmatic either as primary or secondary, you must never marry somebody who is either primary or secondary. Phlegmatics people, they are very weird people. having two weird people in the house may be too much alignment.
Too much. So there's something that over alignment.
And now, because look at it now, it's not as if it's impossible. Phlegmatics will forever deal with fear. If you now have two people that are dealing with fear,
that's the problem.
So you have to really. So what I guide my clients on, try to have a temperament combination. What are the different temperament combinations that you can of people that you can get married to? So if you are a flag, you already know that I can never marry a flag for that simple reason. So as a man in the house, you want to be what kind of woman? So it's not just about the curve, because what makes up the curve is the mind. What's the quality of the mind of this woman? And then what kind of marriage do I want to be? What's the purpose of the marriage? It is that purpose of the marriage that I want to build that will then determine who I'm going to approach about marriage. So, boy, ultimately it starts from me. What's the degree of mastery I have over my emotions?
The degree of mastery over your emotions.
So what about people that there are a certain set of people that, because of the fact that
am I answering the questions?
Yes. Because of the fact that they kind of worry a lot, they become people that nag or complain. So, and they always say about how the people that you are around, sometimes they will influence what you feel. So imagine being around somebody that is always talking about how things are not. You always tell us that we should try to, as much as possible, to avoid that. But what can you do for somebody that you notice that this is what they are, this is who they are every time? They never see them. You're telling them, oh, this person is getting married. They be like, he doesn't even have money. What's marriage?
Tell the person, madam.
They are always in this whole.
If you value our friendship, don't ever talk about the cost of Uber again beside me. I can live 5,000. Is it not from Are? Is it not from Are to where?
People don't live
you don't leave when the person will try to rip you.
Yeah.
He's bringing 4,000.
They are
telling me
that's
I pay you 10,000.
They are coming again.
So I should agree and follow you. When you're trying to rip me off,
it's okay to say sorry. It's okay to say
the rider,
driver, sorry, I won't be able to go with you.
And what if some of them are rude, Dunko?
Driver is okay. Oh, that's the price. Okay, sorry, I'll cancel the ride. I'll pick up another one. But so that you now start the conversation. So I can. Is it not from Are? Is it not from Are to Bodija or market? Why will you call it 5,000 naira? What's the issue? You have started the discussion. You're already diverting your emotions towards what you don't.
So she say, "I'm not going with you. Thank you. I'll cancel the ride."
Yes, because shouting at that person, shouting at that person, what will he do? Then I even told a client of mine on Sunday that, because she told me something similar, and then I now said, before the day before, you can also decide on what's like the amount of money you want to pay for the ride the next day, because we attract and we experience what we attract. So if I talk about the kind of desire that I want concerning the ride and the rates, that's what will eventually happen to me. So what I'm trying to say is you don't leave anything to chance. You meeting a driver who is charging you multiples is because you left it to chance. If you don't cultivate a land, what will happen there?
Grow bush. Anything will grow on it if you don't cultivate it.
So you have to be intentional about your land.
This is a very interesting.
So instead of shouting at the driver, can you just take responsibility?
Okay.
Islamiyah.
Like this morning, we're talking about some of these BYC vehicles and these Chinese electric cars that are coming into the country. And I was talking about the price, and I was like, and we talked about it when she was like, I said like 30-40 million. And Samira looked at me and like, I said, no, it's not expensive. Now we never get the money here too. Well, it's not an expensive car. Looking at the fact that there are cars of 200 million, 150 million.
Yeah.
So if nothing should hinder us now to see 30-40 million as a waste of money to put in a vehicle.
Yeah, because look at even the ride that you are begging the driver to collect. Some weeks ago, if they should give you the same amount of money, you will say never. But now you are using the same price to beg. Initially, you used to say, 10,000 will be too much. I will never pay 10,000 naira. Now it's 15K. You're not saying, would you mind collecting 10K?
Bruh.
So it's about me focusing more on what I want and then remaining becoming stubborn, sticking to it. I'm not letting it go. I keep on, instead of just sending text to people, how are you? I just call to say hi. And then you have sent text to like 20 people, maybe 10 people will reply. what would that do in your life? I'm not saying you should not reach out to people, but can you use a huge amount of your day focusing on your life? Because at the end of the day, when you focus on your life and you have results, people will generally, people are like women.
Yeah.
If you are very successful, women will get drawn to you because women are the spot value far from like ahead of time.
Yeah.
So why don't you focus on the development of your life instead of bothering about people? So stop focusing on people, start focusing on yourself, and people will naturally
be drawn to you.
And that's a very hard very, you know, it's as simple as it is. People don't even realize how much is the people who are focused on themselves to develop themselves to the highest form of who they choose to be. People are drawn to them. Justin Bieber at the Coachella over the weekend did something that has not been done before. He performed his songs, playing his own songs from YouTube live on stage and on a main stage of Coachella. And that automatically, because of how much he focused on himself during that performance, because of the traction that came from the people at Coachella, YouTube had to increase their price. It helped YouTube increase his price. It helped him increase his reach and his royalties because of how much he has focused on himself over and over. I think it was yesterday they were talking about how Justin Bieber has been around since the age of 13. At some point, he was the most famous teenager in the whole world. And we've known this guy since the age of 13. Now he's 32 years.
It's like incredible.
And you have remained relevant. Even when you disappeared, you came back. You still remained relevant.
And that did not just happen.
That didn't just happen.
That's mentally, you have to be mentally strong to be that relevant for a long time.
Yeah. So when you see the likes of like David Obi, Wizkid, who are relevant, it's no longer about how much they have. Or
No.
It's about
mental
strength of they choose to be relevant.
And for you to know how deep these guys are, Wizkid once said, to know what you want is a big deal. Like it's a lot of work. You can't say that statement if you don't know how powerful it is and how the amount of work you need to do to know what you want. So that's why he doesn't bother. He doesn't answer people. He does what. So you are now angry. Wizkid said you are now angry. That's the kind of person he's enjoying himself.
Yeah.
You are not like that. You are not. Can you see what Wizkid said? How can he say that you now brought up bring lights?
It's like David calling himself the 30 BG guy.
Yeah.
And you know, I remember I said in an interview that his father said, "Why would you say 30 billion? It's supposed to be 100 billion." And he has existed in that realm for the longest. What's his name? Burna Boy started calling himself Odogu.
Yeah.
Look at him buying Ferrari left and center.
At the end of the day, there is a need for
you have to be selfish.
A selfish God complex.
You have to be. There's a healthy part of being selfish.
Sure.
You have to be determined. And you have to be determined because in this Africa, they will keep calling, why have you not called me? Why have you not? If you want to reach out, why don't you call me? But it's not everybody that you say that want to.
Yeah.
You just be smiling. And even children, you know, a lot of parents are not where they are supposed to be. A lot of parents are having a lot of psychological issues, and they end up passing it on to their children. It is now your responsibility as a child to learn to say no to your parents. You have to learn how and when to say no and yes to your parents. The fact that she's your mother does not mean every time she knows what she's doing.
Yeah. I think if there's anything you learn as an adult is that your parents don't know what they're doing.
Sometimes they don't
even know. They don't know. They were just doing it because that was the only thing they could think of.
Yeah.
So as a child, you need to articulate where you are going to, and then let them know at home.
Yeah.
That's not my strong point, ma. I don't rush at things. If you want me to do something, please tell me like a day before. You can be sure that the next day I'll do it. But not that you will grab me now. Oh yeah, go now. I'm not like that. But there's a way you're going to approach mommy. To say, mommy, please, I want to see you whenever you are free. Please let me know so that there's something bothering me and I want to discuss. Because okay, then you're not mom. Each time you come, whenever you come to just say, I should do it. No. I get agitated. I get anxious. I start getting worried. I start having negative emotions. What do you think the mother will do? My son. Agitated. no, I don't want that for my son. No, hey. Then I say, so and then I end up not knowing what to do, and then I will end up not doing.
This sounds like fairy tale the way you're saying it. A few times I've had to. I think the first time I had to tell my dad, I told him, because you don't like something doesn't mean it's wrong, and I had to correct him because my dad is is a very traditional Christian. You know, women wearing this or wearing jewelry, wearing trousers, he's always like very quick to say, oh, don't wear this. And I had to tell him one day that because you don't like it does not mean it's wrong.
Yeah.
And you need to understand that people have a right of choice, you know. And it takes a lot to have some of these conversations with our parents.
Yeah.
Even some I have just decided that I would not put myself in a position to have this conversation because they might not understand it.
Yeah.
Right. So because we have been privileged by the education our parents have allowed us to get, to find ourselves and know who we truly are, to be able to say this is not exactly the way things should be, you know.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot for them to see some of this life. So sometimes I leave the conversation as it is, and I just try to protect myself from allowing them bring up some of this conversation.
Yes.
Or avoid the gathering where that conversation can come up.
Now, do you know how many times you've mentioned Daddy on this radio show in the last almost 2 years? So many times.
Yes.
What that tells us is you have a strong link with Daddy.
True.
And that means that whatever Daddy says is going to go straight to your mind, almost unedited, unrestricted, because you trust him and you love him.
True.
So you have to then be very, very so there are some discussions that you may not have with mommy. You can run away not having with mommy, but not with daddy. Because if daddy is not aware, you cannot arrest him for what he's not aware of.
True.
And the ability to be able to have that conversation is going to be based on one, the substance that I have, the degree of substance that I have. So I should build capacity to be able to have that high intellectual conversation. And then number 2 is empathy. I should put myself in his shoes. If someone were to like organize a meeting to tell me that, how will the person say it? It's always about how it is said, not exactly what is said.
True. Final question. Good.
I was going to talk about the parent, but I think you already, because my mom and I, almost all the time, like there's some certain things that she believes, maybe about marriage or about how a girl is supposed to behave, and it's just always like, no, you know, most times she does not, and I understand where she's coming from, you know, because that's how she grew up, that's what she knows. So it's very hard for you to tell somebody that what you've known all your life, you know, it doesn't make any sense or it doesn't mean anything. So I tell her that even if this is what you have, this is your opinion, don't enforce it on me. This is what I believe, and that's how I'm going to do. Even though she's always like, but you're not supposed to do that. I'm like, who says I'm not supposed to do that? So I think coming from where it might be a difficult conversation to have, but just like you said, I think it's important to get to know yourself, and then it's when you get to know yourself that you know the things that you want and the things that you don't want, and then you can communicate it to the people around you. I think so. Thank you so much, Dr. Michaels.
Thank you.
Namaste.
So I think that it's important that you know what you desire and you focus on what you desire instead of
on what you desire,
what you don't desire. So you can worry less. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Michael.
Thank you.